Hey guys, so there's something I really want to talk about, but quickly I'm going to go through the get healthy with me thing. So, first of all, my meals today, steak with sauce and rice. The sauce was like a pepper sauce. And then for dinner, I'm going to have a soup. And as far as working out today, I've got a lot going on up here in my head, so I really want to go for a walk and clear that out. So, now that I've gotten through that very quick, rapid fire round, I really want to talk about kind of the state of the world, but more specifically companies and their appreciation for us working class, I guess, or really any consumer. So basically, I remember when I was younger, companies, especially in the United States, used to give you things for being a part of their business, for taking part in their company. And it didn't have to cost them anything or really cost them any time. But a good example of this was I used to have insurance with State Farm. And my State Farm agent, every year on my birthday, would send me a letter, like a handwritten letter. It was actually a card with, like, thank you for being with us for this long. I hope you have a great birthday. Looking forward to more years to come, or whatever. Something small, something quick, cost them probably 20 cents for the actual card if they didn't buy it in bulk, and maybe 10 cents for the postage. I'm really disconnected with postage, but you get the point. Very cheap. And I don't think it was State Farm that made them send this. It was my agent of the time who decided to send it. And it made an impact on me. And I still remember, if I was working with that agent, if I still had a car, I would still be working with that agent. And the next time I get a car in the United States, I will definitely be contacting that particular agent again and doing it all again. Another good example is for those of you who are frequent flyers, you used to get, anytime you got on a plane, whether it was one you flew often or one you never flew, you used to get up to the cruising altitude. The seatbelt sign would come off. You'd get up, stretch your legs if you're one of those type of people, go to the bathroom. And by the time you come back, they're starting to prep these little carts. They'd come down the middle of the aisle and they would give you food and a drink. Usually it was like a small baggie of pretzels or a small chocolate bar and a choice between some sort of can of soda and water. I remember I really looked forward to that. I always got the pretzels, ice, and ginger ale. And I was so happy on those flights. Nowadays, if the flight isn't less than like 6 hours, they don't do nothing. They don't care that you sat down and are on their flight. They don't really care at all. So they come back through the thing and it's like $5 for a small baggie of pretzels, and it's like $3 or $4 for a can of soda. And it's pretty crazy. And I get it. Like, you gotta protect your margins and stuff, but back during the Revolutionary War times, and I'm not going to give you a history lesson here, although I absolutely love history. Basically, the entirety of the United States freaked out when Britain decided to tax their tea by 3%, I believe it was. So, an extra 3 cents on $1 of tea if it was a huge pack of tea. And I don't remember the exact amounts, but it was around 3%, like maybe less, maybe a little bit more. Nowadays, they add on all these extra add-ons. They trick us with this flight insurance and all this stuff, and we just kind of keep taking it and keep taking it and keep taking it. And I get it. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. Nothing is so strong that it makes us feel like we want to stand up against it. But it's just really interesting how things have changed. And it's nothing against us. I think we have a lot better of a style of life nowadays as a collective world. For the most part, there's a couple places that aren't doing so hot, but even back then they weren't doing so hot. So, but one thing that I really think should happen, and I don't know if I want to be the person who does this, although I definitely would enjoy this job. But basically, we as a community of people, no matter our shape, size, color, background, whatever, we need to kind of come together and start showing these companies the power of 300 million people in the US and 7 billion people in the world. It's probably more on both now. Last time I looked, that's what it was. We need to get organized together and all decide, like, it would be really cool if we could all get organized together and just decide, we are all across the board going to boycott this particular company. We're going to make a list of demands, not that benefit any one person, but These are the things that we want to see from your company before we start buying things again. We want our pretzels and ginger ale back. It's not that hard. Bring it back and we'll start flying with you again. We want to see flight costs drop because you're charging unreasonable amounts. It used to cost, for me to fly here to Peru, $75 to $100 from New York if I got a really good price. Now I can't even fly from Lima to a nearby country without spending more than or less than 400 US dollars, let alone getting here. So I really think that it would be good of us as a community to remember those roots of our voices matter and we can have impact on these companies. And if we tell them we're not going to buy into your shit anymore, they will change things up because their bottom line is dollars. And the reason why they're doing what they're doing is because no one's standing up. So they're able to raise their bottom line consistently and without any consequences. They can make the Coca-Cola can slightly smaller and charge the same amount because we're going to keep buying it. So it would be really cool to have that happen. I wonder how many people we would actually need to make that happen. And I'm talking about how many people we would need to create a big enough disruption for a company that it actually starts to listen to our demands. Basically like the union of companies, I guess. The People's Union for Companies. I don't know. That needs work. But essentially, yeah, a group of us getting together and being like, we're not flying Spirit anymore until you give us our ginger ale back, bro. Give us ginger ale, we'll start buying your flights again if we're flying somewhere. So I don't know. I'm really interested in what you guys' thoughts are. I know this is kind of maybe you would even consider this a radical approach. I don't consider this politically driven at all. I consider this pretty. Everyone is getting screwed over by companies on both sides. So, and like I don't, yeah, everyone's getting screwed over by companies on both sides. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I wonder what your thoughts are on the matter, and do you think that's a good idea to have a group of people that band together and just boycott things just to like show companies that we deserve better as we're human beings and we're not going to attack you. We're not going to destroy your company. We're just not going to buy your product if you're going to be this way. Just a principle-based group of people. It would be really cool. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, I will see you next time. Check out my other videos and subscribe. Maybe I'll be the one who puts this together. And if you want to be a part of that, click that button. We'll see.